Hi, my name is Alicia Coronado, and I am a student of the Public Administration Resource Management class, and I'm an employee at Voce Niños Casa. Um, Casa is a national, state, and local organization, nonprofit organization that recruits and trains community members to serve as court-appointed special advocates for a period of 1 year for children in foster care. After a rigorous screening process, which includes interviews and criminal background checks, volunteers are required to undergo 20 to 30 hours of training. And then they're sworn in by the Webb County Family Court judge as guardians ad litem for children in foster care. In a sense, they become the voice of the child or the children and advocate for their educational, physical, emotional, and legal needs. Our agency's been around for about 6 years. We have a pool of 30 volunteers, and up until 6 months ago, our staff was comprised of 4 full-time workers: an executive director, a recruiter trainer, and 2 case volunteer supervisors. But with a shrinking budget, the case volunteer supervisor position has had to pick up the work of recruitment and training. Furthermore, we lost our executive director and had been functioning for about a year without one. My motivation to take this class as well as the nonprofit course was precisely because our agency has been experiencing this transition. And as an employee, I wanted to take more of a proactive approach and learn skills that could help alleviate some of the changes. I'm happy to say that as of March, we have a new executive director. My presentation will highlight some of the things that I've learned and we've begun to implement in order to continue to help the organization succeed. The HR management work was primarily part of the recruiter training position. And so when they eliminated the position and those responsibilities were placed on the case supervisors and volunteer supervisors, I needed to create some systems that would more smoothly help new volunteers go through the process. So because our primary job still needs to get done, which includes staffing cases with CPS workers, meeting with volunteers once a month for updates on the children, preparing court reports, and attending court hearings, I found that creating a checklist that would help the other 3 employees pick up wherever the last one left off was really necessary. The checklist includes what forms, conversations, trainings, dates, etc. Have been done. This is a tool that I took directly from your lecture, Dr. Dolan, on orientation. It's a simple idea, but we've never tried to use them in our new role as recruiters and trainers. And this is what the volunteer files now look like. They have this checklist at the very front. And if you open up, I have a record of trainings that someone has attended. We're constantly on the telephone or texting or emailing. So I also we have a very simple contact sheet to make sure that conversations are recorded so that the other full-time employees can pick up where we left off, and so we don't miss the opportunity of a new volunteer. They're so needed. Everything is now very efficient and clear, and we're all able to understand these systems. Orientation to the program was usually done on an individual basis when we had a recruiter trainer. The recruiter would do on one-on-one type of situation and explain the program. But now that our time was limited, from that same lecture, Dr. Dolan, I implemented a group orientation session, which could be counted as one of the required training hours. The lecture on orientation turned out to be almost a how-to guide for us, primarily for the planning stage. We also created these folders for each potential recruit, equipped with the training manual on disc, we are very limited in funds, and so I did not have the funding for 10 manuals this time around. So we came up with putting it on the disc. It has all the forms that need to be signed at the end of the orientation with a name tag so that they can move around the building without being questioned, and some writing paper. And so this is what our training manual now looks like. We certainly look professional, and I think that overall we were able to give a full overview of the program, answer any questions in one shot. I say we saved about 8 to 12 working hours by creating this orientation session rather than meeting with people one-on-one. Another aspect of the class that really affected me and has really helped me is after reading chapter 9 of Berman, Bauman, West, and Van Waart's book, Human Resource Management in Public Service, I took the relevance and transference section and ran with it. I've taught in several capacities in my lifetime to teens and adults, but this type of training role was kind of new to me. So I tapped into my own resources as an educator, but I'm really glad that I was able to read this particular chapter. The first thing I found relatable to my work was the importance for managers to be good teachers. To do so, managers must be aware of the problems workers have in order to understand specific needs, the author said. And so our workers are actually our volunteers. I wanted to maintain that source of communication. So as a training idea, I developed, and actually I borrowed or stole this, I hope you can see it, this sheet. It's just a huge post-it. It's called the parking lot. It's a place where volunteers can just post any questions that they might have during a training session, or it's actually outside my door. They can ask any questions, give any suggestions during the course of their volunteer time. It helps me measure the temperature of the group or the ongoing volunteers. Anything from, can we have a break at 10:30 instead of 11 at the next training? Really good one. It tells me I need to make sure that they're being fed at a right time, to what should I wear to court. So this idea of maintaining communication between the supervisors or managers and the potential volunteers was really good. And then it's ongoing as they continue their work as volunteers. I also wanted to talk about another point that the authors brought up, and that is about how difficult time constraints are for trainers. I want you to look at my manual. This is what I have to cover in 20 to 25 hour training. It covers anywhere from topics such as family law, working with teenagers, psychotropic medications, communication skills, cultural competence, and it's true. The authors are right. Many of us try to cover too much in a short period of time and present broad topics rather than really specific skills that people might need. Trainees pick up on the ineffectiveness of this strategy because they don't see any real relevance to their work, especially our volunteers who haven't even started doing their work. Furthermore, the information overload becomes really scary for our volunteers and overwhelm them, and before they even start the work, they're running to the hills. So we had to think about balancing what is absolutely necessary to cover and use, rather than straight up training from the book manual, case studies to touch on the most essential parts of advocacy. And then we develop monthly trainings to cover other topics more in depth. For example, I use the Martinez case study to review the family law, which is vital to the advocacy work, the effects of drugs on child abuse, since the case involved a child born addicted to heroin, which subsequently resulted in his removal, and drug use in our community and resources, since the state of Texas will give the parent 1 year to regain custody of the child, and we want to offer the parent all the information and resources available in the event that the court returns the child. So became more relevant to the trainee, to the potential volunteer, and the questions were more rich in content, and I feel like they left more equipped with something that they'll be able to use. That's just one example of how we've been trying to revamp our training approach. Another issue the authors present is the problem where transference when training takes place outside of the area of improvement or new information. This makes it difficult for our volunteers to readily transfer their skills to the real work. And a perfect example is court appearances. We can give an overview of the court experience, who's who, what the process is, but it doesn't really translate to the real thing. So as a solution, we incorporated court observations as part of the training. Volunteers are able to sit in court and observe the proceedings. Then we meet at the end of the week and share experiences and observations. This has been the most successful of our changes. We've been even paired up volunteer trainees with seasoned advocates to sit with them to explain the proceedings as they occur. Overall, these changes are all in the initial stage, and I hope that what I've brought to the table will help the agency move in the direction of efficiency. Volunteers already feel they are part of something great because the agency's mission is so noble and so effective. However, as an organization, we really need to reflect a level of professionalism that ensures volunteers and the community that the service we offer is the very best. Nothing says more than organization and a well thought out training. I want to thank you for your attention and thank you for sharing your skills and your information. They've really been helpful in this short period of time, and I know that they will continue throughout. This is my presentation. Thank you very much.